undoubtedly, as a PC enthusiast, you've probably at some point seen a mechanical keyboard, whether that be at Newegg online or like Walmart, Best Buy in person, and you've seen like Cherry MX this, Cherry MX that, and you don't really understand what they're talking about. So the price point, alongside not understanding what they're talking about, kind of keeps you away from them. Today, I'm going to stave off any misgivings you might have about any kind of mechanical keyboard. I'm going to explain to you the differences and some of the main Cherry MX switches, and we'll even be doing a review of a Cherry MX switch keyboard. Let's just jump right into it. In front of me, I have a Cherry MX switch tester. I highly suggest you buy a switch tester for yourself before you go out and buy a mechanical keyboard. Switches are highly subjective to the person using them. You might like Cherry MX Brown, someone else might like Cherry MX Blues. It's completely personal. So you don't want to go out and buy the wrong keyboard for yourself because some guy on YouTube said, oh, I love Cherry MX Blues. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and start with the Cherry MX Blue. This is actually the switch that you're going to think of when you think of a mechanical keyboard most of the time. Here we go. It makes an audible click and it has a tactile push. It has this little hump that it has to go over before your click is actually read. It's a bit heavier than the Cherry MX Brown, which leads us into the Cherry MX Brown. The Cherry MX Brown does have a tactile bump, similar, still has that tactile feedback that the Cherry MX Blue has. However, if you listen, it does not have the famous audible click. Those are the differences between the two, with the Cherry MX Brown being slightly less in weight required to meet its actuation point. Now we're going to go into the Cherry MX Red. The Cherry MX Red has what's called a linear press, so it doesn't have that tactile bump like the other switches that we just did do. The force, the actuation point itself, is quite light. It doesn't take much force to get these to go. Then we have the Cherry MX Black. These are essentially a heavy version of the Reds. They have a linear press, no tactile bump or audible feedback, but they take a little bit more weight to get down to its actuation point. That's essentially all. The only difference is with all switches being 4 millimeters to get down before they bottom out and 2 millimeters for their actuation points. So now that you know how these switches work, we're going to go ahead and jump into an unboxing review of a mechanical keyboard. Today's review will be for the Kingston HyperX Alloy FPS mechanical keyboard. I just randomly walked into Best Buy and bought the first mechanical keyboard I saw, and how would I start a mechanical keyboard review in the first time I got to mess with one without starting with the most famous of switches, the MX Cherry Blue switch. I haven't looked up anything about this keyboard. You're going to get 100% unboxing, and everything we see together will be the first time I'm seeing it. Let's jump right in. Got another thing here. Let's slide her right out. Let's get another wonderful. This should be at the front. Yes, it is. Oh, what's that? That's like a mesh protecting it? What is this? Is this a keyboard holder? That's awesome. Like, just in case you wanted people to know, you're a gamer. Let's see what else we got here. Got congratulations on joining the HyperX team. Thank you. You got yourself a quick start guide, but I hope you're a man and you don't read instructions. Let's go ahead and get this keyboard out. Okay, so off the bat, I can tell you it has a really nice metal construction. It's really rigid. Doesn't have any flex. You can already hear those beautiful clicky blue switches. It's actually kind of a smaller keyboard. This is kind of has a little bit of chic to it. This metal kind of like glistens a bit. It looks pretty nice. Let's see what else it came with.
we have a nice vacuum seal. That's quality right there. Nice vacuum seal. We have W, A, S, and D keys, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 to replace these keys with a key puller. So I guess these are to get. Oh, see, these are raised a little bit. See if I can show that to you. See, these have actually little like striplings on them to get you to feel them better, so your hand actually will rest on them. You won't have to think as much about touching them. That's nice. That's really fun. We'll throw that on in a minute. Then what kind of cables do we got? We got a nice braided cable here. We have, let's see what we got. We've got 2. We have one that is undoubtedly for the keyboard itself, and then just a USB to USB. Let's look. Okay, right there. It has a charging port for the USB 2.0. That's nice. However, I'm a Nexus 6P owner, so I would have really liked USB-C to USB-C, but that's because I have my own problems when I pick cell phones. But yeah, this seems really nice. I don't think there's anything else in the box. Nope, that was it. That's alrighty. Let's get to gaming. Let's get to typing and see how we do. I mean, this keyboard itself is marketed for an FPS, so I think I know just the game I want to play. And upon initial boot up, that beautiful red. Look at that. That's nice. It's gone. But it's first boot up. There we go. Alrighty, so you guys have seen me play Player Unknown Battlegrounds for a while, and I hope you enjoyed that montage because I was supposed to record over it with my voice, and I ended up not having that sound file. So we're going to go ahead and just go into a review of the keyboard. Now, I actually really ended up liking this keyboard a lot more than I thought I would. It was a dream to game on compared to a membrane keyboard. I'm telling you right now, I did not believe the hype at all when it came to a mechanical keyboard, and it lives up to it, for sure. This HyperX keyboard, it's nice and rigid. It feels premium. It's got that nice brushed metal. It has a plastic bottom, but it's still a very strong and rigid keyboard. Now we're going to go into what I thought was kind of a gimmick, the WASD, like abrasive keys. I didn't think that they would make a big deal, but I actually really enjoyed them. That was a really smart move to put on here, and I really enjoy that they included them. I'd not once accidentally had my finger like move to the side. I ended up doing a different motion. Every time I was moving, I could feel the abrasive keys and knew I was pressing the right keys, period. No looking down, no accidentally misclicks or anything. You have your typical function keys, you have your multimedia keys, you have your volume decrease, volume increase, but you have the button that not a lot of gaming keyboards come with that I highly suggest, and Kingston did it right by including it, the ability to turn off your Windows key. I cannot tell you how many games I have played and just got decimated because I clicked the Windows key, opened up that tab again, only to have a headshot and just be completely eviscerated, more so than when I'm actually playing the game and sucking it up by myself. Now we're going to move into another feature of the keyboard that's pretty neat. I actually ended up liking this, and especially since I use my phone all day. I'm on it all the time. Go ahead, follow us on Twitter because I'll probably end up talking to you at Apex Tech Reviews. Anyway, has a USB plug right on the back of the keyboard to charge your phone. Totally nice. That's a really nice feature. If you have a smaller cord, something like this that I use for my Nexus 6P, I would highly suggest it. That's a really neat feature. The sad thing is it doesn't offer data transfers at all. It's solely for charging. I would like for it to have been data transfer as well, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Overall, I highly suggest this keyboard if you love Cherry MX Blues. This is a very premium feeling keyboard. I didn't think I'd like it. I kind of thought it was a gimmick at first, but the HyperX Alloy FPS keyboard has my seal of approval for Cherry MX Blues. But I don't like Cherry MX Blues at all. Now that I've had a lot of hands-on time with it, I cannot stand the clicking noise. It is annoying. The tactile bump is nice. I don't mind it. It's just, that's the part I like, but the click just gets on my nerves. Just the incessant clicking, especially when you're trying to type or anything. For me personally, I can't stand it. I'm going to look at an MX Brown switch and see maybe like if I can find a keyboard that I like with an MX Brown switch. Even with the blues that I don't like, I want to keep using this keyboard over my membrane. This keyboard is premium. But that goes back into, like at the beginning of the video when I explained switches to you, you should definitely buy a switch tester for yourself to find out what type of switches you like. I wouldn't really listen to your friends. It's all kind of subjective. You know, I don't like MX Blues and I might like MX Browns. You might hate MX Browns but like the audible click and tactile feel of the blue. You might not like any click or any tactile feel, might go for a red. It's all personal preference. And this way, if you buy the switch tester, you save yourself potentially $100+ of regret by buying the wrong mechanical keyboard. And that was our video for you today. If you want to see more mechanical videos, go ahead and give us a like on this video. You guys have a good night.